There once was a tiger-striped cat. This cat died 1,000,000 deaths, revived and lived 1,000,000 lives, and he was owned by various people who he didn't really care for. The cat wasn't afraid to die. Then one day, the cat became a stray cat, which meant he was free. He met a white female cat, and the two of them spent their days together happily. Well, years passed, and the white cat grew weak and died of old age. The tiger-striped cat cried 1,000,000 times, and then he died too. Except this time, he didn't come back to life. Bang.
Cowboy Bebop is known for its use of many different genre conventions and how it mixes these together to create its own subgenres. Taking inspiration from sci-fi dramas.
If you didn't return by the time the watch stopped. I didn't come here to blame you. I just wanted to know why. Why you disappeared like that.
Westerns, and black exploitation films.
You're not getting away from me, Domino!
It does this with both its visuals and its music, changing rapidly from episode to episode. Even in some scenes it changes. Just like the jazz known as bebop, this is where it gets its title from. The style features compositions characterised by a fast tempo, complex chord progressions with rapid chord changes and numerous changes of key, instrumental veracity and improvisation based on a combination of harmonic structure. With most episodes changing their style and using many different conventions from genre to genre, it pulls us off with the power of animation, something that cannot be done through live action, but that hasn't stopped anyone from trying. This makes them all unique and at the same time keeps episodes feeling familiar. This is thanks to the characters at the centre of the story. Spike is the main character of the show, and through the many bounties that he fights, we understand him more. Some are serious, and some are more comedic.
My man, it's all about making love and peace in the world, sugar bear.
Some episodes even feel like filler, such as the Aliens in the Attic episode, in which we see Spike and the other crewmates fight off an alien that comes out of the fridge. This shows us that the show can be light-hearted, and these are the sessions, as the show calls them, that focus on creating fun adventures, whilst others are made to test Spike's morality and his own outlook on life. The first episode that demonstrates the show's more mature and dramatic side is Ballad of Fallen Angels, only the show's 5th session, and we get to see Spike's background and his relation to the overarching villain of the show, Vicious.
If Spike were here, you would never have done this.
This episode is the embodiment of the speech that Spike tells Faye in the last episode.
Why are you going? You told me once to forget the past, because it doesn't matter. But you're the one still tied to the past, Spike.
Look at my eyes, Faye. One of them is a fake because I lost it in an accident. Since then, I've been seeing the past in one eye and the present in the other. Never the whole picture.
And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive. I have to do it, Faye.
As he tells Faye in this clip just shown, we understand that ever since Spike's previous life within the Syndicate ended, he has never felt alive after losing Julia and his life as a whole. We see Spike fight people to cope with this. It's one of his mechanisms that make him forget about his old life, as he could die happily at this point, before Julia's death of course, which changes this. Before any of this happens, we see this philosophy of Spike's put to the test in the 20th session of the series. The episode takes advantage of the noir action genre that we have seen the show delve into several times at this point. A darker tone, lighting straight out of a 50s noir film, the near black and white colour palette with a splash of Spike's hair and other lighting keeping some amount of colour and make it look more interesting, and the mystery behind Pierrot himself is very noir inspired as the episode unravels this mystery slowly, such as telling us why he's afraid of cats and other things. The show also dives into the horror genre, with this episode especially, with the music and sound effects being used to manipulate the viewer into becoming terrified by Pierrot. He is possibly his toughest challenge by this point, and we really get to see Spike's philosophy coming into full effect with him. Unlike any other bounties in the show, Pierrot is not even a bounty target. Spike could let him go, but ever since he stepped out of the pool club in the beginning of the episode, he is the only thing he can think about. Spike is nearly killed by him in the first fight and decides to go back for another when he receives an invitation to the circus, with Pierrot's full intent being to kill Spike. We even see an early version of Spike and Faye's final talk in the show, shown earlier in this episode.
Maybe this is the one I won't come back from. The end. Just playing with your head.
Showing his unwavering focus on Pierrot. This idea of Spike being so focused on someone is shown throughout the entire show and even in the movie, with Vincent.
Tell me before this life of yours ends, did I die on Titan long ago? Is this world just a dream that these butterflies are showing me? Are they part of the dream?
The people Spike fights usually have something to do with Vicious, of course, representing his past life that he can't keep running from, and Vincent being like Spike himself, believing that his life on Earth is like purgatory. He is neither dead or alive, and we know Spike believes this too. But unlike these two, Pierrot is nothing personal to Spike, but instead the ultimate test to see if he is truly alive. We get to see who Pierrot is himself, with small talks with a lot of ambiguity around him, as Jet talks with his former partner.
This guy's a perfect killing machine. They say that nobody who's seen his face has lived to tell about it. Those few that managed to get away were hunted down relentlessly, and they always turned up dead. They say he appears with a smile, and he leaves with a smile. He's a mystery, all right. An assassin known as Mad Pierrot, Tong Bu.
The dialogue we get from him is limited and shows us how dangerous he is. Most dialogue in this episode is used to further the fear around Pierrot, and outside of these we hardly hear anyone else talk, something the live action would again not get quite right.
I'm just watching a bad dream I never wake.
Jed, a bidet is a toilet that cleans out your asshole.
We hear about him being an assassin hunting those who made him. And from earlier scenes that we see of him, we can tell there is something not quite right with him mentally. We know for a fact that he is not just a normal human, he can fly, stop bullets, and many other things. Just like all the other characters in this show, we find out that his backstory is a tragic one, and he also has his own baggage. The episode takes advantage of a circus setting in the second half, using anything associated with it to create a more dreamlike experience, delving into Spike's mentality more each scene, using penguin slides, mascots to fit into the circus world theme too. All of these normal happier things we associate with the circus are made menacing due to the lighting and the laughing of Pierrot himself, dancing around the area taunting Spike. We find out that Pierrot is like this due to his stunted mental growth. His mind started to regress back to that of a child's, and this is why he kills and hunts like this without any second thought, as Jet says in the episode.
Apparently, his mind is continuing to regress. So he's like a child with superhuman combat capabilities. And really, there's nothing more pure and cruel as a child.
And I'm very in touch with my inner child.
Showing that he might even think this is fun, and is the right thing to be doing, as he has not been told otherwise. In fact, he has killed those who tried to run away, or even challenge him, showing us that he doesn't want to stop, before being injured, and showing us in full effect what his mind was really like. It is Pierrot, the main aspect of the episode, that allows everything that the show does well to be brought in. As previously mentioned, the noir tone that the show so perfectly adopts, the idea of Spike not being afraid to die, being able to fully bloom in these 20 minutes, the real danger being shown to the viewer to create both a horror aesthetic and whilst also keeping the lighter tone of other characters. This episode, to me, was the perfect roundup of everything that the show has to offer, before the crew started to slip away from us in only 4 sessions later.